Yuba-Sutter.live's local government live streams are presented by Plumas Lake Self-Storage in Plumas Lake, where lifelong local residents are helping other residents keep things safe, providing indoor storage units, outdoor RV and vehicle parking, moving supplies, and Penske truck rentals. Details at plumaslakeselfstorage.com.
There's more Christmas to come on Yuba-Sutter.live. We're going all over Yuba-Sutter, catching a number of Christmas celebrations in the act of happening. Friday at 5 p.m. we'll have the Yuba City Christmas tree lighting, and then zip out to Sutter for the 6:30 Sutter Parade of Lights. If you missed any of them, you can binge watch them for the first time, or watch them again right here this Sunday night. 5 p.m., the Marysville Christmas tree lighting and 73rd Marysville Christmas Parade replay. We'll list the winners. Then at 7 p.m., the 55th Olivehurst Christmas Parade replay, also with winners noted. At 8 o'clock, the Yuba City Downtown Christmas Tree Lighting and Sutter Parade of Lights replay. Christmas events in Yuba-Sutter this Sunday evening at 5, 7, and 8. Merry Christmas, Yuba-Sutter.live. You've seen signs marking some of the gems in Marysville. They're produced by Sapphire Sign Company, providing something small, large, and mobile. With decades of experience, Sapphire Signs has pioneered local production of a variety of signs, like temporary campaign-style signs, welcomes for unique events, building signage, event promotion, and vehicle customization. Need a sign? Make it a gem from Sapphire Sign Company. On the web at sapphiremarketinggroup.net. Sapphire.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Sorry about that. We're going to go ahead and recall to open session. Can we go ahead and stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please? Salute. Pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Perfect. Are there any requests for agenda reorganization?
Yes, I have questions on consent C, and G only. Thank you.
Do you like those to be taken separately?
Yes, please.
C and G. Okay, thank you. There are two reports out of closed session. So for 5A, the district unanimously reached a settlement with a former employee regarding a CalPERS error, where the district will make payments to CalPERS in the amount of $6,924.66. And then for 5B, the board voted by a unanimous vote to reject a claim and to give the claimant notice of denial. All right. And then we are going to recess to the annual organizational meeting. Sorry, I have to.
Thank you. And with that, we'd like to start with the oath of office for our newly elected board members. And so I'd like to call Donna Johnson from the clerk's office, along with Board President Jasmine Domi and Member Pretty, and newly elected Marilyn Moslett to the front to be sworn in.
Thank you very much. Oh, yeah.
So before administering the oath, I just want to give you a little bit about history about what the oath is. The oath of office that we know today is withstood the test of time. The words have gone through many transformations, starting back from the original 100 BC when they were given to Romans when they established a professional military. From then, our founding fathers adopted the oath of office for their civil and military officers. And then throughout history, many pieces of legislation have changed the language, starting with, as well as the application of the oath. The most recent version of the oath you'll shortly hear was adopted by Congress in July of 1868. And the oath that you're about to take has certain moral implications with your actions, as well as what the general public expects of you in the execution of your office. It is so much more than mere words. It provides the necessary foundation for leadership decisions. All right, so we'll go ahead, and if you'll please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Mary Lee Bonslet,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California
and the Constitution of the State of California
against all enemies,
against all enemies,
foreign and domestic,
foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith
that I will bear true faith
and allegiance to
and allegiance to
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California,
and the Constitution of the State of California,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well
and that I will well
and faithfully
and faithfully
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
upon which I'm about to enter.
upon which I am about to enter.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Gonna get her first. So, welcome
So if you wanted to get your certificates of election, and then we'll get some signatures from you as well.
Perfect.
More work to be done.
In the morning.
Thank you. I didn't get one of these last time. My name's spelled wrong this time. Actually, it's spelled wrong. It's spelled. No, it's right.
Well,
Thank you. Thank you and congratulations.
thank you.
Awesome. So we just did 4.2. 4.3 is election of officers. Currently, I'm board president. We have a vacancy for vice president, and our clerk is number 4. Are there any nominations?
I nominate Jasmine Core, or Jasmine Donnie, I'm sorry. For president. I second that.
Okay, on a motion by member Pretty, second by member Core. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none. To roll as president. Are there any nominations for vice president?
I nominate Arjo.
I'll second. On a motion by member Lamb and a second by member Domi, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, member Core will be on vice president. Are there any nominations for clerk?
I nominate Shelley for clerk.
Yes, I'll second that. On a motion by member Core, second by member Domi, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, member Pretty will be our new clerk.
Should we move?
No, you're good.
We'll move
We don't need to play musical chairs
For the
next year.
thing. So 4.4 is the adoption of the 25 governing board regular meeting agenda schedule. Are there any questions or comments?
I have to say, actually, it's not on my diligence, so,
It's a separate agenda.
right.
Would you like to see a hard copy?
I would like to, can I request a hard copy, please? I had some diligent issues. Let's go. Thank you.
Here's the only question or comment I had was, for the February meeting. Are we taking into consideration not meeting? Just to confirm.
So I think if I remember.
I don't think we can talk.
If I remember correctly. That's okay. What's next?
I do.
Yeah, sorry. So the only ones where we have a single meeting would be July 22nd. Would be the November date because of the Thanksgiving break, and then the December because of the winter holiday. But the February, there's 2 meetings planned. The board decided to only have 1 meeting because of the break.
Well,
And
and
typically we don't.
our break is in between, right? Okay. I'm okay.
And spring break doesn't fall on any of the Eagles dates either.
Correct.
My only question is with regards to May, because I see that we have a meeting on the last Tuesday, so it's going to be the day after Memorial Day. And then with the graduation schedule and everything, has that been all taken into account? Or
So the graduation schedule, would be the week after, correct? Or is it that week?
The last week of June.
Yeah, because June will occur during first.
No, our graduation would be.
June first begins on a Monday, so
Yeah.
graduations for the high schools are the 5th and 6th.
Of June.
right, I'm just making sure. Right. I'm just making, but with the holiday that I'm just making sure our support team has the adequate time to prepare for both, even given the Memorial Day weekend.
We have to do it before it, so we're quite prepared to do that.
Okay.
Any other questions? Can I get a motion, please?
Move that we approve.
Second. Okay, on a motion by member Pretty, second by member Quilty, all those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. 4.5 to designate a liaison for YC Charter School. I believe previously it was member Lamb. Yeah? Would you like to continue the role?
Oh, no, it was,
Oh, okay.
so I did it, legal did.
Okay. Anybody else? We need somebody.
No, but it's always Wednesdays, and I can't do
I
Wednesdays.
can't do Wednesdays either.
I'm happy to do Twin Rivers.
It's a liaison from the board to go to the board meetings at Yuba City Charter.
They're once a month on a Wednesday.
It's a non-voting.
Is it Wednesday night?
It's always the first Wednesday of the month.
6 p.m.
I can do it.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. Do we need, okay, can I get a motion? I motion to nominate member Bonsley.
I second that.
Okay, on a motion by member Dami and a second by member Lamb. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. Okay, and then I heard from Mr. Quilty, would like to continue as liaison for Twin Rivers.
Yep.
Can I get a motion?
Make a motion to
Nominate.
nominate Mr. Quilty.
Second.
Okay, on a motion by member Lamb and a second by member COCL, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. All right, so 4.7, Registry of Public Agencies, filings in accordance with Government Code Sections 53051.
Authorizing me to do so.
I make a motion to we do that.
I'll second it.
On a motion by member Dami and second by member Pretty, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
I'll file those on your behalf.
Thank you very much. Hearing none, motion carries. 4.8, authorization for signatures on warrant orders, contracts, and payroll. Superintendent recommends approval.
I motion to approve.
Second.
On a motion by member Core, second by member Ciociola, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. Information 5.1, acknowledgement of the conflict of interest form 700.
Yes, so As elected officials, you are required to complete this document, and so Laura will get that out to you to complete and will be submitted. So there's a timeline, so we will gently remind you, and we have not received them back.
And just as a reminder, those who have nothing to report still have to report nothing.
Correct. They have the form submitted.
We can't not report, we just report nothing.
Right, correct.
Okay, so we have 3 meetings tonight. So we're gonna go ahead and adjourn this meeting and reconvene the meeting that I adjourned just a few minutes ago. So I'm gonna do that. All right, thank you. Okay, is ready?
Yes.
Okay, we're gonna go ahead and recall to the open session. Can we go ahead and do roll call, please?
Absolutely. Member Boslett? Here. Member Susiola?
Here.
Member Domi?
Here.
Member Core?
Here.
Member Lamb?
Here.
Member Pretty?
I'm here.
And Member Quilty?
Here.
Thank you.
Awesome, thank you. Item 12, student reports. Hello, Carmen.
Good evening, board and audience. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Carmen Chima, and I'm a student at Yuba City High School. So basically, this month, everybody has been focusing on doing good in finals and just getting all their classes done this semester. I'm going to start with the financial report. After all the fundraisers that have been going on for the past few months, the freshmen have $92. The sophomores have $1,318. The juniors have $3,137, and the seniors have $6,536. And then for the class points this year, the freshmen have 452 points. The sophomores have 1,233 points. The juniors have 2,000 points, and the seniors also have 2,000 points. Some things that have been going on these past few weeks. We had a spirit week last week for Christmas, since this week is final, so it would be hard to do a spirit week, but we had some days such as Winter Wonderland, Festive Hat Day, and Christmas Socks. It was pretty fun. A lot of students participated. And then we had our canned food drive. It ended, but a little shout out to Mrs. Smith, one of the English teachers. Her class alone gained 2,000 points for those in need. And then some things that we've been working on. The class of 2026 is gonna host a Yule Ball, which is like a Harry Potter themed dance when we come back from break. And the juniors have been working on the paperwork for that and getting a DJ. And then one thing we had last week was our first Friday volleyball, where a bunch of students played volleyball at lunch in order to earn class points. And then for sportsmen, we've been having basketball volunteers to help at snack bar and just help run the games, making sure everybody's okay. And we also had a wrestling tournament, I think last week or the week before. That went pretty good. We had a lot of volunteers and a lot of students wanted to help out. And then we had all of our class meetings last week. I know the juniors had a really successful class meeting, and we talked a lot about fundraisers we want to do and ways to make money. And then the seniors have been taking their senior portraits and getting those submitted, and the cap and gowns are now available and ordered to buy. But yeah, that's it.
Thank you, Carmen.
Okay, number 13, student recognition.
Thank you. So as you can see in the audience, we have had a very successful fall athletic season. And so we have our student athletes from both Yuba City High School and River Valley High School be recognized. So I am going to invite Assistant Principal Torres to the podium to introduce the Yuba City High School athletes. So there you go.
Good evening, members of the board, students, and families. We're here from Yuba City High School. My name is Mr. Torres, one of the assistant principals. So we're here to recognize our girls cross country, boys cross country, volleyball and football students. So I'm gonna call Mr. Busby, Coach Busby, come on up, so we can introduce some of our athletes. Reintroducing the cross country.
Boys or girls first? It'll be a
Boys or girls? Girls first.
I'd like a few words about our girls cross country team. We had 6 girls compete at the section division. And if you've ever been in sport at high school level, getting to the sections is the next step to making the state meet. So sections is a pretty neat deal. And we had 6 young ladies forming a team, and they placed at sections. And the teams that they were mentioned with, Whitney, Granite Bay, Atwater, Vista del Lago, and Laguna Creek. And our girls stacked up at number 4. And so they were 4th in the section, the freshman sophomore division over 2.0 mile course. And these ladies are, and I'd like you to come on up too, if you would please, Kate and Sierra. Caitlin has run 15 races this year, and 15 is quite a few. Next girl, Natalia Guzman.
Hi.
Next young lady, I don't know if she's here, Nashara Jackson. Next young lady, Elaine Parks. We have Sophia Robles. And Lydia Valdez. These girls all earned various number of medallions over the course of the year. And what I'd like to quickly do here is just, I want you to name a race that you were in. Just quickly go down the line here. A race that you were in that you especially will remember for a long time. So Lydia, you can go ahead and start things out.
Just the first one, just starting off. Where were we at?
Sierra College.
Yeah, Sierra College.
Black Butte.
My first Nevada Union.
I think Williams.
Black Butte.
So a lot of these courses, they have something we call hills, trails, dust, pavement, oak trees, maybe some star drizzle, but won't see too much of that. But anyway, these girls met to, excuse me. Say this. They met the shore and they got it done, and I'm so proud of them. One of the other things I got to tell you about real quick is that these girls are going to be really close for probably the rest of their lives, because when you go to your class reunions from high school, you don't look who sat next to you in the English. Excuse me if there's an English teacher in the room. You remember who you sweated with and who you ran hills with, and all those accomplishments probably out in the athletic arena. Well, ladies, thank you very much.
Well done.
Oh, thank you.
We kind of come over just to this section over here. Thank you.
Photos must be taken.
Make it tight. Of course you do. And you can't hide behind the microphone.
Okay, I'm just going to stand next to you. If that helps. Okay.
Ready?
Football.
I didn't cut anyone's heads off. Thank you very much.
Congratulations, girl.
The next group of athletes are the freshman sophomore boys. And the freshman sophomore boys, they are ranked at the section level, just like the girls were. Here are the teams that they're ranked with: Jesuit, Whitney, Vacaville, Grant Bay, and Atwater. And these young men placed fourth, just like they did last year, and but ran faster this year than they did last year. So if these young men would come up, Chris Camalinga, if he's here. Chris ran 15 races this year, one of our fastest. Second guy up, Isaac Pacheco. Isaac ran 13 races this year, and I don't know what 5 of them were. Congratulations. Okay, so you didn't need the arm to run, but anyway. Joseph Martinez, he ran 15 races. We have Ethan Fuji, who ran 15 races. Samuel Payne, who ran 11 races this year. He also ran with a broken arm for several weeks. And lastly, Andy Pineda Ramos, he ran 13 races, 15 races. So like I had the girls do, what I like you guys to do, just down the road, is state a meet that have to be challenging for you, okay? One that you really like, you can't say the ice cream. Go ahead.
Frogtown. You said Frogtown?
Yes.
Okay.
The Lagoon Valley Classic is the competition.
That's Frogtown. Section will.
Angels Town.
The gold mine.
Now, to put these guys in perspective, they run 5 kilometers in 16, 17 minutes, which is moving along pretty good. It's about a 5 minutes, 5:30 pace maybe, okay, which is pretty good over cross country, hills, trails, pavement, so on and so forth. And the other thing I want to mention to you about these boys is, and the girls, we'll mention them too, they hardly miss a practice all year. They're there every single day. We run for 2 to 3 hours a day, even when it's 100 degrees outside. We even had to run at 6 in the morning sometimes just because it's too hot, or we had an air quality thing like that. These guys just work so hard. They're just wonderful kids. So I was really grateful to be lucky enough to coach these kids. Many of these kids, it's their second year. Ethan here, this is his first year, so he's a freshman. But the point is these are some of the best kids in the school, and I'm so glad that we're here. So thank you, gentlemen.
Well done, gentlemen.
Hold on, hold on. So one of the neat things that was given to me at the award ceremony is one of the parents actually made a book, actually a calendar. And so we have pictures of, this is really neat, pictures of every month of the year, but calendar of some of the places where we went. This is the girls at Angels Camp. You have to make it through Angels Camp, Frog Camp before you get to go to sections. And this is when we went out to bobbling. We went out there on the trails and one of the parts, hamming it up. So this was a neat thing, and I like to put this up to this. This is at our. I think this is at our Hot August Twilight Wild. So, anyway, Thank you, gentlemen. Ready for a picture?
I am. Picture where you are. Can I get you all to kind of smoosh a little closer?
You guys, wait, do you guys want to open those up? Because all it shows is the black outer. Yeah, there you go. You like that better.
Why don't you guys come to the front of the podium too? It might be a little bit easier to see everyone. There we go.
Okay.
Getting professional about
There you
this.
go. Much better, fellas.
All right, we want to look up. Thank you. Great picture. Thank you. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Next, for girls volleyball, I'd like to recognize Emily Smith. She made first team in our new FBL league. And finally, I recognize from our football team, they're new to the FBL league this year. And so we have Jordan Henry as team co-MVP, Peter Itterburn as team co-MVP. He broke Yuba-Sutter High School tackles this year, broke the record. And Brian Aleman, he also made the first team in the FBL.
Oh man, so I'm gonna give you all three because you showed up. What's your name?
Brian.
Brian, okay. All right, I guess I'll only give you yours, but you give them a hard time for us, all right? Well done.
Thank you. Sergio, go on in. Thank you very much. Congratulations.
Thank you. And from River Valley High School, I believe athletic director Phil McCauley is, right? Fine.
Okay. We're gonna do volleyball first, so, anyway, volleyball, ladies, come on up. Thank you, board and cabinet for, having us, new league this year, definitely more competitive in the FVL than we were in the CVC. All these young ladies right here are underclassmen. We've got 2 juniors and one sophomore. First off, we have Jada Barr, finished first team all FVL and led the league in kills with 261. Next, we have our setter, Alexa Campos. She broke the school season assist record with 387. And I don't know what the career assist record is, but hopefully she's working on getting that next year. And then sophomore Parveen Takar broke the school season ditch record with 349. So. No, I'm gonna back out. Coach, come on up and take a picture with these ladies, please.
You guys all want to come forward?
Come on forward.
Okay. Yeah, just tilt your head.
Know the drill by now.
I like your shoes, Coach.
I am out of focus. Give me 1 second. There we go. Great picture. Thank you. Congratulations. Great job, ladies.
And then next up, we have cross country with Coach Swansea Boyle.
Hello, everyone. How you doing today?
Great, thanks for asking.
This quick. We had a good cross country season. This was my 3rd year here. Second as a head coach. A lot of returners. We would have liked to have more numbers, but we had 17 solid kids, very dedicated. About 90% of the time they were practicing at 5:30 a.m. Not that early, then some would come back later and run on their own or do stuff on their own while they had a full load. We traveled a lot this season. We went to LA a couple of times. racing the biggest race in the nation. Had great placements. We had a girl run 17. Couple running the 18s, had some boys running the 15 minutes. That was some exciting stuff that they went down and got to compete against the best of the best with over 36 states represented there. Early September, which really kicked off our season. Heading into league. On both the boys and girls varsity, we placed second. The girls had one of the last 2 years of being in the FPL. This year is much tougher. They lost by 4. The only team they had lost to was Colusa, who ended up getting 3rd in the state. And to get top 10 in league, especially this year in the FPL, was very extremely tough because 9 of the 10 girls in varsity actually made state. And that just came out of this league. We had 3 of them. Second was Nevaeh Brown, a junior. Emma was 5th. Emma Thiara was 5th. Senior, and April Anguiano was 8th. That was a senior. That was all league top 10 to help that team second. And on the boys' side, we also placed second. We had 3 all leagues. Josiah Boel in 6th, Tyler Jordan 7th, Phoenix Danielson in 8th. And on the frosh off, we had the frosh off champion Efren Ibarra. I am Haron was 7th, and Mahan Bobrai was 8th. For that frosh off, that we had 3 only, and they placed in the top 8. So it was a good showing for our team, second on both sides. You know, we were both shooting for the championship, but in such a competitive league, with only 17 kids, we were really happy with the results. On the subsections, which is as Coach Busby mentioned, that's Frogtown, really close. In the frosh off, we also actually bring it back in the FEL. In the frosh off girls, we also had a girl named Erin Damon placed in the top 10 as well. In the subsections for the boys, we had 3 frosh offs in the sophomore race from the top 20. We had Ian, Efren, and Mahan. Once they raced Division 3, 4, and 5, but once they split it up, they were 16th, 18th, and 19th. We had 2 varsity gentlemen placed in the top 25, Phoenix and Josiah Boel. They placed 7th at the subsection meet. It was the first time we had a team make it in 12 years in school history. So that was really exciting to have a boys team make it to sections. On the girls, we had 3 in the top 20 with Nevaeh, Emma, and April, and they helped the team get 4th place at the varsity D3 level to move on to sections. And so from the section of 17 athletes that we had that made the section meet, we had, I believe, 16 or so. So most of our team made it to the full section meet, which is pretty awesome to have 92 or so percent make it to a master meet. Which is kind of what we look forward to, and the kids that stay dedicated and show up every day to practice were the ones that got the results. In our case, we ended up being most, if not all of them. In sections, on the frosh-off boys, we had 3 in the top 21 with Ian, Efren, and Mahan. On the boys' side, they placed 7th again, so they were the 7th best team in Division 3. On the varsity side, led by Phoenix Danielson, he was 22nd. Only 8 spots away from making state. We had Tyler 35th, and the other top guy was Josiah 41st. On the girls' side, they made state last year as the 4th best team. This year they were 3rd. They made the state championship again, only 1 point behind Del Oro for the 2nd best. So a podium this year, and we had 3 in the top 10. We're the only school that represented 3 in the top 10 at the Division 3 level, or I guess any level. Most athletes, are happy to have 1 at the section meet. We had 3. So we had Nevaeh Brown, that was 4. We had also Emma and April that also rounded out the top 10 to also get all section in Division 3. They go on to compete at the state meet. Again, they were 3rd overall, so top 3 teams make it to state. There's 25 teams that make it. Last year we were 18th. This year they were 15th. They were led by Nevaeh Brown, who was 19th at 13th, which is she broke the state course record for our school by 20 seconds by our previous athlete who actually ended up coaching us this year. She ran 18:10, and she beat Leanne's record of 18:30, or she ran 18:13, Leanne ran 18:33, and she would end up going to run for Berkeley, and Nevaeh still has another year. She's the only the 2nd athlete along with our assistant coach, to make state 3 years in a row, and she'll be the first athlete going next year in school history to make 4 state competitions. Emma would finish 47th, 1855, only the 3rd person in school history to break 19 in the course. And April was our 3rd athlete on the top 100 with a 66th place finish in 1910. So that we had a very successful season, one of the best in the program history. A couple of these athletes are being recruited right now by D1 schools, so we're in conversations to see how far they can go beyond high school, and they're model students. Obviously, if you want to wake up this early in the morning, you have to be dedicated at some sort of level, but they don't just do that in their sports and athletic career, they do it in their education as well. And they understand their student athletes first, and they really emphasize that, and that's kind of what we focus on. It's a privilege to be out here, and they understand that, and they take every moment not for granted, because we know it's a short 4 years. So it's been very exciting coaching this group, and we look forward to see what they do in track. Thank you guys for your guys' time. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
And some of them are probably studying right now, so I apologize.
Can we just call their names?
Yeah, this one's Emma. You have to
Pictures must be taken.
I can just call their names. Mahan. Olivehurst, Aman.
Emma?
No.
He's not here. He's not here. Feel free to search.
Ephraim. Aaron. He's great. Aaron's not. Phoenix. Tyler. Josiah. April is Emma. And Nevaeh.
Oh, okay. Perfect. All right. Is that like a couple of you guys on this side?
May I get a picture?
Yes, yes.
Please?
You guys scoot up, you guys need to get up more.
Watch in front here.
Yeah, open that. Open it up. Otherwise, it's a black piece of paper. Thank you very much. Congratulations. Well done. Thank you.
And then last but not least, we have our section title winning girls tennis team. And Coach David.
Hi, everyone. Good evening, everybody here. And first of all, I don't like to be alone up here, so I'm a small guy. So I'll bring my tennis family up here. I'll call them up one at a time so you can recognize them as well. So my number one, who's my daughter, my Lady of Ramirez, you can come up here. 2, Sana. Hello.
Congratulations.
Number 3, Claudia, do that. Let's see, where's my number 4? Gianna LaPera. Our number 5, Samantha Baker. Where's Mia Gill, my number 6, single. In double, we do have Alexis Otero. I just here I'm gonna let the girls show you this because we just got this today from Vail real quick. They got a breather from so every
That's
go ahead,
awesome.
girls. Show them the top 12. Who's going to tell you a little bit about the team real quick? Sorry.
I want to get a picture of the banner.
Yes, we'll get the banner up here. First of all, I'm not, I don't like to make one picture, but I'm just going to actually give a couple thanks to a couple people that make it happen because I've been coaching 18 years and as a coach, and if anybody's been coaching, you don't do it by yourself. It takes a lot of people. It takes a lot of people to help you. So first, I'm going to say a big thanks to my AD, who's always there for support. Give it up for Phil. Our photographer was actually back there already. He took so many pictures. This is Ryan Dudek, his parents. Had a great picture. Where's my good friend Mike LaPera? There he is in the back. Always driving. Of course, all the parents that are here supporting the team, they always there for the matches. They're always there for the matches. Always asking, do you need anything? Water, food, treats, whatever it is. And so I'm good with treats. I always tell them, whatever you have to bring the coach. So I like that. But also the RV staff, they always gave a lot of support for the team throughout the whole season. And at the end, especially when we needed the support, when we were going through those tough matches and sections, I'll talk a little bit about what happened. But if any RV staff would give it for them as well. And I also want to say that, I want to give big thanks to Doreen because she's been following it. And I know she took time. I know she has a busy schedule. And she came out to watch a couple matches. And I thank you so much for coming out and big. Well, this year we did win the section championship. We did come in second place this year. We were 11-3, second place behind Roseville. We were able to get into Division 4, and it didn't matter for us. We were just happy, and there was a lot of first time. Let me read them to you because I forgot. A lot of first time at River Valley for girls tennis. So one of them was that it was our first home playoff match. And we were excited because it was not that we were getting out early from school, but it was just that it was our first ever home match. I've been to playoffs, but it's always been traveling. And I'm not saying travel to Sacramento. I'm saying like Modesto. And so those are long matches. Those are long trips. And so I've gone to a few, but the ride back has always been a little depressing because it's 3 hours of sadness a little bit, until they get food. But anyhow, it was first home match. We loved it. We won. It was very easy win. Easy, when I say easy, is because we were just a little better, but everybody had to come out and play. So we were excited. And then we went to our second round playoffs, something that has never been done at River Valley. So that was the first time too. And we got to travel to El Capitan, which is in Manteca. And that was about a 3-hour drive with a little stops here and along the way. But I tell you what, after that was a match that we won 5-4. It was a close match, and it came down to one player, and that was Samantha Baker. But Samantha was, and one funny story about her is that everybody came to watch the last match. It was really exciting because we had both teams there watching. We had traveled 3 hours. And it was four matches. Samantha had won the first set. She only needed to win one more set. And all of a sudden, she starts bouncing and like a bouncer. And I was like, okay, we're going to win. Because when she starts bouncing, we win. And she came through, and I saw the energy. And so and she did it. We won the second round playoffs. And we made it to the final after that because then we're seeded number 2. But it was an exciting moment, not because just seeing her bounce around and everything, but it was just because all the girls, we're a family. And I always told them. And they just came out and hugged, and we were so excited. And the 3-hour drive felt like 30 minutes. So it was a beautiful thing. So, and lastly, my girls, at the end of the final, we were, it was very exciting at University of Pacific. We went to University of Pacific with a lot of support, parents, our AD Phil, just a lot of parents. And that was great support because that was the best match I've ever seen the girls play all year. And it's one of the words I've used a lot with the girls, and they probably hear it. I say ganas. You need ganas to win. And ganas means desire. And that's what they had. That's why we completed our mission. And we just thought, hey, we're going to make it to playoffs. But once we said, hey, we have an opportunity to make history here, they took it. It wasn't me coaching. I just motivated. I just told them, hey, this is what you got to do. And when they put their mind to it, anything's possible. So I was very proud of the girls because there were some close matches, but we finished the match in singles. And it was really funny because my daughter came out first, and she was, how we doing, Dad? Well, you won. So now we're going to see what happens. So in the other girls, a couple of my number 2, my number 3 came off. And then it came down to my number 4. And we had already won 4 matches. Me, our number 6, had just coming off in a very close match. And Samantha came off and she had won. So we needed one more match. And here she is playing them. And it was really rowdy. The parents were getting a little upset. And so what happened is I think you made the last point and she missed it. Or
Yeah, this is double fault.
Double fault. The girl double fault. And we didn't watch it. You can't clap with double fault in tennis. But we can run out there. So we ran out quietly because there were lots of matches. And we just tiptoed out there. And we hugged and we embraced, and it was a beautiful sight because Harry is still taking pictures. Brian took a lot of pictures. They were funny because we had all kinds of faces. We had tears in our eyes, but it was a beautiful thing. So, girls, thank you for that. I still remember it. Okay, so our record was 23-5. And like I said, it's the most successful season that we've ever had. And then just to move on, just a couple things. So there's a lot of first-timers for just as a team, but also individuals. So I'm just going to move on really quick to individuals. I don't want to keep this long. And my daughter said he's always to cut it quick. But we have 3 girls here, as you see them to my left. We have these 3 girls made it to the individual section championships. And that's because when you're in league, you have to come first or second, and then you go to section championships. There is no state in tennis, and so basically this is where as far as you go. And so I have Claudia and Sana, who they're singles players. They never play doubles, and so I told them you can play doubles, and for the top singles can play doubles at the tournament. So they matched up because they did not win an individual singles, so I could pair them up in doubles. So they paired up, and they were a little nervous because they never played together in doubles. And after I saw them play, it felt like they had been playing for a whole year because they matched great together out there. They played well. They talked, communicated, which you're supposed to do in tennis. And believe it or not, I said, maybe they're going to win a couple matches, but they actually went to the second day, which has never happened. The first time I ever had first-time doubles team for River Valley girls tennis, for any sport. I mean, I know we had doubles for boys, but for girls tennis, first time. And they went to the semifinals, and a close match. And girls, it was awesome to see. Every time they fought hard, they upset a few teams, and so I want to give it up for them. And lastly, my daughter, this is her 3rd time being here, being recognized because every year she always has goals. And of course, getting goals is getting to the finals. And she, this year, very competitive. She was just always competing like she has done in the past. But she made it to the finals of the singles individuals section tournament. And she played against the girl who had not lost all year. So she was undefeated at 23-0. My daughter was 23-2 because she's only lost to that girl. She said, "Don't say that." But that's not the point. The point is that she was always competing against that girl, and it was very tough. My daughter beat her. My daughter had beaten her last year in the final in the league tournament, and this time it turned around. But she made it to the finals again. Went to sections, and she was seeded number 3 at the tournament for all sections, Division 2, and she upset the number 2 at the semifinals and went to finals. And once again, she met that girl from Roseville. But her record was 32-4 all year, only lost to one person. And she knows what she needs to work hard on next year, but she's excited. But let me tell you, this girl right here is she's a fighter, and she had one of the goals to make it to the finals. I have no doubt in my mind that you're going to see her next year here, and not just be in the finals. I think she's going to be here taking it all because she has, in my eyes, the desire, the ganas, the inspiration. Most importantly, she is so humble, and that she just, she doesn't ever take the spotlight. I remember one time when she she goes, Dad, I had not won the finals, but you know what? To me, more importantly, is to win the team championship. And so that is what I'm so blessed with her, because she just, she's been playing with me, I've told you before, since about 7 years old. And it wasn't me telling her, let's go play. She pulled my hand and kept pulling me out and said, Dad, let's go play. And that's how she got really good. You see, she's short, but she can hit harder than me and probably a lot of the guys on the tennis team. And if you ever have a chance to go see her play, you ought to see, because it's a great view to see, and it's a beautiful thing. And so I just want to say thank you, Mija, for doing what you do. It's been a long time. I was going to ask him, because I told him, you're going to say something, but something memorable really quick about tennis season this year. Just really quick. I'll start with Alexis.
Any sections?
Any second.
Eating the food after section.
I used to say Meeting Roseville.
Probably playing at University of Pacific, just because we've never played in such a big stadium. Yeah.
Probably only beat Placer because that was like really important to go to playoffs. Yeah. I think our third place in our doubles sections tournament. Yeah.
And
Meeting Roseville.
okay. Meeting Roseville, sorry, Mia. And my best moment for everything for this whole season is just seeing their happy faces every time coming out of practice, because that made it fun. But wow, you ought to see when we some said Placer, because that was a big match, and it was either second place or third place, and we went to their place, and Placer's a very tough place to play at, but it was great to see the players rush the court, hug, and just we said River Valley or Falcons about 3 times, and we went home in another good victory. So good. Come on,
Do you want to ask your photographer?
oh, my photographer, Ryan, can you come up here?
Where are we going?
So he's got to be long.
Can he go back here? All right.
Thank you, yeah. Special authorization grant.
Coach, where are we going?
Right here. Right here. Can we get some of the girls? Come on, girls.
What do you want? I just want the picture.
He doesn't like long speeches
It's
anymore. I'm still saying.
You're gonna have to stop.
Maybe,
Your coach. Yes.
it's cricket.
Just like a slice.
No, it's there. Now you're straight. Okay.
What's more of this?
I can't see.
Tippy toes.
You're all right.
Get down there. Me too then. Are you ready? Great picture I got, but let me just do one more. Thank you, congratulations.
Wait.
Oh, yeah.
No, you got sorry, Dad.
You can get in.
You're so lucky.
First, yeah, I need to see. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, you guys ready? 1, 2, 3. Hey, lift that banner up a little bit off the ground. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Go. Phil, you want to get in on it?
Right.
You know, you squeeze in on both arms. All right. Perfect. 1, 2, 3. Thank you. Thanks, everybody.
Coach, you said you didn't like it.
Did they give another one?
Take care.
Oh, I know.
We'll just wait a couple of minutes for whoever's exiting to exit, and then we'll go ahead and go to staff recognition. Just in a second.
Like 4.
We're not waiting.
The air conditioner out or the heater for 10 seconds.
Okay, we'll go ahead and move on to staff recognition.
Thank you, and I'd like to introduce Director Rob Vogue. And so we got to acknowledge our student athletes, and tonight we're going to recognize some very deserving staff. So, Vogue.
Thank you, Superintendent Osumi and School Board, for the chance tonight to present some exceptional staff. And like Superintendent Osumi said, it's great to recognize our students, and it's equally wonderful to recognize our talented staff here that help us achieve our mission as a school district, which is preparing the foundation for each student to build tomorrow's world. We know by recognizing our employees, it helps them stay with us as a team and helps them continue to improve and makes our community stronger and better. And with that tonight, I want to present Chelsea Slattery, who is Warehouse Nutrition Services Director, and she'll be presenting 2 awards to some outstanding staff.
Good evening. I am excited to be here this evening to present. I'm the Nutrition Services Director and also the Director for Yuba City Unified Warehouse. So we're going to start with the warehouse department. So this evening, the food service supervisors and I we're nominating 2 staff. The first staff member that I would like to recognize is Brian Barr. So Brian, if you'd like to come up there. Brian has been with the Yuba City Unified School District's warehouse department since July of 2024. Brian comes in every morning with a positive attitude, ready to work, and is always willing to do what it takes to get the job done. Brian is reliable and positive and has played a pivotal role in keeping the warehouse operations going throughout the current school year. He is truly a valuable member of the warehouse team, and we really appreciate him and his work ethic more than he knows. So, ladies and gentlemen. Have a little
It's
chocolate is nutrition approved.
It has protein in it.
Oh, what time are you coming by tomorrow?
We always have chocolate in our office. Well, do you want to help? Chocolate?
I am. I don't have my fork with.
Oh, yeah. You can move it there,
Or one more sticker on there.
Mine here.
Sorry.
Signature later.
All signed.
With the Reese's. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Okay, and then for the Nutrition Services Department, we would like to recognize Sal Coy. Sal has been with the Yuba City Unified School District's Nutrition Services Department for 11 years. He was recently promoted to our lead cook and grill master for the department. Sal's always willing to do what it takes to get the job done. He's helpful, reliable, and willing to go out of his way to contribute to the success of both the nutrition services and warehouse departments. He has a very positive yet calming presence and brings excitement to school nutrition everywhere he goes. He is passionate about his work and always focuses on quality food production, which has positively impacted the department and contributed to increased participation rates across the district. Sal has hosted 18 pancake breakfasts at various school sites and his very first school-wide barbecue was last week at Yuba City High School. The students and staff are enjoying participating in these events. It's truly been amazing to see just the excitement that comes with these events. So we're very thankful to have Sal on our team, and his skills are, he's just very experienced and knows a lot about food, and it's evident when you see him out there cooking. So his ability to capture the kids' attention at these events is also very fun for us and our team to watch. He's always willing to lend a helping hand to his coworkers, and his passion for his work is inspiring. He's truly a valuable member to our team. So the supervisors also would like to present him with a gift. Again, it has protein in it, it's got almond.
Come in front of
I'm always, I'm behind you.
There you go.
Can you just get Karen this way, just
I'm
here.
front of the person.
In the front. Okay. Thank you very much. Great picture.
All right. I don't know.
Okay, we're gonna go ahead and move on. To number 15, are there any comments from the public? It's not on the agenda.
No, they're not. Okay, sweet. I'll just give everybody a minute if you'd like to say.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Bye. Have a great
I
night.
have to say, when I was serving here today, Thanksgiving, never had to worry about running out of potatoes, and she was on it. She did a great job. She gave us our making breakfast there, yeah.
Okay, so for the consent agenda, can I get a motion for the consent agenda with the exception of C and G?
I make a motion to approve the consent agenda with the exception of items C and G.
Second. On a motion by member Ciola, second by member Lamb, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. Member Ciola, you had a question about C?
Yes, so this is regarding River Valley High School Nevada Classic for their wrestling department. They're requesting to go out of town for an out of area wrestling competition. I couldn't help but notice that this request was put in and signed by the district administrator 8 days ago, and that this is for a tournament that is during winter break and is taking place 10 days from today. And I couldn't help but notice the itinerary written in pen has that we're leaving, we leave in 2 different vans at 1 p.m. for Reno with 19 or 14 undecided varsity wrestlers. So it's happening in 10 days. This is a shocking lack of notice. I'm speaking on behalf of parents and they don't even have like a roster or like who's going. What is an undecided varsity wrestler?
They're doing that based on qualification for the tournament. This is a yearly tournament they do. So River Valley, Yuba City is not coming this year. This is something they do yearly. It's a tournament of champions. And so they're the undecided is the kids who are qualifying. And once they're qualified, they don't have a roster of those kids going. This happens sometimes when you're qualifying for tournaments. You don't quite know based on the rate.
You don't know 10 days out?
Yeah.
Qualify or not?
We don't.
Okay,
This
and
is
it
totally
happens
normal.
in the middle, yeah.
Yeah, these are
I just
all-
don't remember, we're doing this every year, I don't remember this in previous years to happen during winter break.
Yeah, this is
2 days after, or a day after Christmas.
This is the annual tournament. It's right now. It's an annual wrestling tournament. And there's a number of schools who go to this. I'm talking about like 30 plus high schools that go every year to this tournament.
Okay, all right, that was my only question
But
for,
the timeline is
yeah. If we're doing this every year, why are we getting notified by it this late?
Yeah, notification should have been earlier.
Okay. Yes. That's my only question for C. Does anybody else? Oh, sorry, that's your question. That's your job.
It's okay. G, you have a question about G?
I do. Okay, so my question with regards to contracts and agreements. I had several questions with regards to the contracts approved on this list, just 2 of them. And one, both of them fall under the district office. Page 1, if you're looking at the attachments. Yuba Community College, there is a $44,952 dollar expenditure for 2025 CAM fees for January to June 2025. Do you know what a CAM fee is?
Yeah, so that's I believe the common area fees.
The what?
Common area maintenance. There you go, board member. So we share the common area with the VA, so we're leasing this. So there's a certain amount of fees associated with that. It's in the contract that the lease that we sign with them, and we get invoiced regularly for this, and this is
Okay.
part of those expenses.
All right,
It's like landscape
I get it.
parking lot.
I'm there. The other one was paid out is the $4.8 million to be paid out to the Sutter County Superintendent of Schools, the 24-25, but it's special education, but it's estimated excess cost. So talk to me. Talk to me, Goose.
Okay, so there's we work with the county office, they run a lot of special ed classes, and so there's a certain amount of revenues that's to receive there, so any costs that aren't covered, because we don't get enough revenues to cover our special education costs, they bill us out for the excess, and that is that fee.
For an excess cost.
Okay, so that's what we're spending above what we're taking in with regards to
Correct,
that.
and you will likely see another bill that comes through later spring.
But this is, it says estimated, so they're estimating it?
So exactly, just
Okay.
like us, they have budgets and estimates, and so it will come into, one thing I can guarantee is it will be different than the estimate here, but that is the estimate at this point.
Okay, that's
And
it.
every program is different cost. So a
Right.
student that goes into an autism class is gonna be different than a student that goes into multiple. Like an SC class.
Right. I'm trying.
Okay. Just, any other questions?
No, I'm ready to vote.
Can I get a motion?
I move that we approve CNG.
I second.
A motion by member Pretty, second by member Ciola. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. Action items A, expulsion, suspended contracts and readmission.
I make a motion that we execute the way we voted in closed session.
On a motion by member Ciola, second by member Core. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. B, first interim.
Yes.
This is not quite as exciting as what you guys have been doing already tonight, but we do have some.
Oh, don't sell yourself short.
Oh,
We are ready for the floor show.
all right, so we have a presentation. I see, before we get to the presentation, I do just want to thank, my name is Scott Bentley, Assistant Superintendent of Business Services for Yuba City Unified School District. And so we are presenting the first interim budget update. So this is the first glimpse of really having a lot of really good knowledge of where we are with the budget, our staffing, enrollment. This report, required report, is it takes a lot of effort, and I'm sure you guys read every one of these
84 pages.
84 pages of good stuff in here. But our accounting department spends a lot of time getting this right, and that is led by Laura Esty and Thomas. Julie also, is the budget manager. So a lot of effort goes into this. Just want to give them credit for that. So what we, just a reminder of the school budget cycle. We, at any given time, we're typically looking at 3 different years. We're closing the books in the prior year. We are right in the middle of the current year. So we're giving you a first interim budget update right now. And right now we're already looking at next year's budget. So we're going to get, in January, we're going to get some guidance to what that state budget is going to look like, because we rely on state revenues for that. So this is just a reminder. You've seen this slide before. We are moving through the circle. We're at first interim in December, and then in March we're going to give you a second interim budget update, and that's a much more complete picture. Oops, skip that slide. So just a couple big picture items on the revenue for 24-25. Our main funding source is the local control funding formula. We are, that every year we get some sort of increase on a per student basis. For 24-25, it's 1.07%. However, we do have declining enrollment, declining average daily attendance, and that is what we're funded on. So for this year, our revenues are down $3.6 million. So that, that's a blow to the district. And really, the reason for this is we lost, one of our protections for really the hold harmless for one of the COVID years kind of fell off, and now it just affected us pretty dramatically for this year. One-time COVID funds. So our federal revenues decreased. We had a lot of one-time COVID funds in the past. We actually have a few for this year, but they were due in September. So going forward, the COVID funds are no longer. So a decrease in revenues, about $2 million due to a decrease in the COVID funds. Federal title programs, we do have an increase of about $1 million. This is kind of recognizing after we close the books, we recognize that we had some carryover, so we put that into the budget. So so that was an increase in revenues for some of the title roles, Title I, Title II, Title III. So you have seen this in a different form in the past, and I thought this might be a little bit more clear. In the past, I used to show a table, and this kind of shows our enrollment over time. So this is looking 2015 through, you can kind of see the arrow shows to this year, 24-25. Then I also show the two projected out years of 25-26 and 26-27. So I think what I'm really just clearly trying to say is, like many districts, most districts in the state of California, we are declining enrollment. We are funded on attendance, which is tied to enrollment. So as enrollment and attendance come down, our revenues come down, and so it puts more pressure on our budget. So that's just a challenge that we have to work through.
But it's interesting, it does, like you mentioned, it does plateau kind of between this year and last, as it did between 2015 and 2016.
You're going to see some flat spots, and actually kind of like in the middle of the graph or the COVID years, you can see some dramatic downturns.
Right.
And then actually, these are in my notes, I've got to say it, the arrow is pointing out. So we are down almost 60 students for this year, but we were projecting to be down 300. So
right.
So actually that down 60 is a positive.
It's almost like, yeah.
It's a good thing. It doesn't really affect our revenues for this year because we're funded on prior year ADA. There's a formula. We get some protections there, but it does affect our revenues going forward and makes those projections a little better. Big picture, $215 million in revenues. This is kind of how we receive our dollars. Most of it is that local control funding formula, 74%. We get some other state revenue, which is the next largest slice, about 15%. Other state revenue is going to be our after-school ELOT program, our after-school ACES program, some lottery money, special ed. We also have a new Prop 28, so we have some dollars there as well. And then a smaller slice for federal revenue. Expenditures, kind of, I would say the big piece of this is you will just notice the certificated salaries, classified salaries, and benefits makes up the largest piece of this pie. We employ people to provide the services to our students, provide that education. The rest of the budget are smaller pieces that just take care of all the operational stuff. Books and supplies, 10%, services, 15%. You will notice, actually, I'll get to it on another slide, that we do have more expenditures and revenues. That has a lot to do with, here we are. So this is getting down to the number side of it. So.
Wait, can I just, I'm sorry, the previous slide, where we go, the employee benefits, just want to make sure. So we've got, according to my math, 71% is employee benefits and salary.
Correct.
Okay, that's all. Thank you.
And this is everything. This is unrestricted, restricted, because that plays a big part in how we look at our budgets here. Unrestricted, you can use those dollars for any educational purpose. And restricted really has these kind of tight parameters on how you can spend the dollars. It could be for special ed. Title I has its own parameters. So you can kind of see the disparity. Most of our revenues do come in unrestricted, about $165 million, about $50 million in restricted. And that combines to that $215 million that was on that revenue slide that we just took a look at. What I really look at for the health of the district is the unrestricted column. And when you get to the bottom of that, I highlighted in yellow, we are deficit spending to the tune of about $4.2 million. And that's just kind of, where we are again, kind of referring back to revenues down 3.6 million. I will tell you that this is a budget, and it really kind of caps the higher end of, you can't spend more than our budget, but you will notice that at the end of the year, depending on where people are with their budget, sometimes they don't spend all of their budget. So it is more the usually the worst case scenario. We do have some restricted deficit spending as well, but that really is we received revenues for certain programs in prior years, and now we're just spending. So we didn't see the revenues this year. We're spending down ending fund balance revenues we spent in prior years.
So let me ask a question real quick.
Yeah.
Scott, on slide 3, it said that federal title programs, the revenue increased by 998K. Where does that money fit in to?
Yeah, so it's kind of, so that's a revenue figure that is, hold on.
I mean, does that help alleviate? I mean, I'm sure that's restricted money.
It's restricted dollars, yes. Yes, that is restricted. So it added to that $50 million from 49 to 50 million, basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then this is the budget, right? But if we spend it, if we receive the revenue and spend the way that we budgeted, that we will be.
That is exactly it, yes. So I tell my superintendent this sometimes, she doesn't like to hear it, but essentially, this is exactly wrong, but approximately right. That's just how it goes when we come to budgeting. But yes, that is exactly right. If everything comes in and everything goes out exactly as we budgeted, this is what the actuals at the end of the year would look like.
So what is our hope then?
To have deficit spending less than 14.2 million.
Well, I would think. Yes. I mean, yes.
Yes.
But I mean, in terms of
well, I'm not going to go there. I don't know the answer to that. We rely on a lot of people to develop this budget. It's not me, and it's not the accounting department. We report it. We have probably 50 different budget managers, from school principals to SISA departments. It is quite a process to go through all this. So I would say somewhere between $0 and $4.2 million sounds reasonable.
Okay, because if this was my home budget, which it's totally not, but if you look at your home budget and you go, okay, well, if we spend the way that we penned, if we spend the way we're penned, it's bad.
Right.
And so we need to.
We have savings, and we're going to talk about the savings as well, and there's a reason we have savings, so we can kind of capture, either overspendings or,
underfunding.
Yeah, underfunding. Either side, revenues falling short or expenditures going a little over. That's why you do need something money in your ending fund balance to cover unexpected events, or if we have to spend all those dollars just like that, we need to be able to cover that, right? That $4.2 million. Yep. And this is the fund balance. So this is our savings. We have $65 million total in ending fund, are projected to be at the end of this fiscal year in June of 2025. $44 million is restricted. So that really has restricted purposes. Can't touch that for, other purposes. We have a state mandate of 3%. That's required for all school districts. That is the minimum. I'll tell you, most government agencies will recommend you have 3 months worth of expenses, which is about 17% or $40 million. But if you look at all of our unrestricted state mandate reserve of $7 million, and then $14 million of really just kind of unassigned or extra reserve, that's a little over $20 million. $21 million. This is just a breakdown of that restricted. So I kind of, on the prior slide, I circled that $44 million. This is what the restricted looks like. This is the major categories of that restricted. Learning, Recovering Emergency Block Grant. We have a few years to spend that. ELOP is the newer after school program. There's a lot of money there, and a lot of districts are struggling to spend all those dollars, but we do have additional for those purposes, and then a few other sources there as well. So now we look at our multi-year projections. These are some of the key assumptions that go on that. So our funded ADA, I referenced this before, we do get funded on attendance, not enrollment. We get the better of current year average daily attendance, prior year average daily attendance, or the average of the prior 3 years. So that helps a district like us that is declining in enrollment because it softens the blow of that decline, gives us time to plan to make revenue reductions as needed. One thing that's kind of interesting, I probably should have circled it, you will notice that our funded ADA, I'm talking about declining enrollment, all this type of stuff, but if you look at 25-26, that number actually goes up. And that has to do with that protection. We had a really horrible year that's affecting 24-25 funded ADA. It was a COVID year, it fell off the books. So now when we look at 25-26, it looks a little bit better. That's a little bit of an anomaly due to COVID. We're a little bit, we're more in I would say we're projecting in the out years, more normalized inflation. So you notice LCFF COLA, so that's our main funding source. And I know I use an acronym, lots of acronyms there. Cost of living adjustment. So that's the increase to our per student funding. We're expecting 3% for the next couple of years. That's more normalized. If you actually go to the bottom line, you can see inflation we're expecting also in that kind of 3% range. So that's a little bit more normal. Again, these are just projections, so no guarantees on this. The other thing that to point out on this is used to be a bigger deal when there was pension reform a number of years ago. We had increases to the cost of PERS and STIRS that was really hurting a lot of school budgets. You can see that Cal STIRS has leveled off where, we don't expect those to go up at this point. Cal PERS, we do have a few more years of increasing. You can see that in 26-27, 28%, we pay 28% of all salaries on Cal PERS. And that number was significantly lower many years ago. So that's just a strain that we have to manage through when we're budgeting for school districts. So over the next couple of years, it's going up 1% on all the salaries. So this is our multi-year projection. So the first column says 24-25. We already went through those numbers. And the top kind of bluer section is really the whole budget. It's unrestricted and restricted. You can see our numbers, and if you kind of look down at the change in ending fund balance, it's the light blue third line up. You see a pretty nasty number there. That's it's in brackets, so it means it's a negative number of $17 million deficit spending. Most of that is in restricted against spending prior year funds. I put in the green section just to highlight the change in ending fund balance of your unrestricted, because this is the health of your district. And you will see we do have projected ending fund negatives there. Again, we do have those. These are just projections at this point. And you can kind of see how the ending fund balance with these projections in our unrestricted does decline over the next few years. But we are covered.
Well, I'm aware that our revenues could, primarily, come from ADA, right? But there's different. So I'm curious, when your 25-26 projections went up to ADA funded at 10,572 from 10,545, why your revenue went down 8 million?
Now that's a good, so this is a presentation. The details gets in here a little bit. That is unrestricted and restricted together. So we actually have restricted revenue is driving that number down. I wonder if I can grab that unrestricted number clear. Yeah. So my unrestricted revenues are projected to go from 165 this year to 170 next year. Offset by decline in restricted revenues, which shows that 215 to go to 207. So my restricted dollars are going from 50 million down to 37 million. So that's the offset.
Okay.
These are our other funds. So we have separate fund accounting for child development, child nutrition, deferred maintenance, and Melrose. And again, probably the one line to really always look at when you look at these things is the net increase or decrease in fund balance. That's the third line up from the bottom. We do have some slight deficit spending in those areas, but generally the budgets are intact, and we have enough ending fund balance to cover those. Go ahead.
Even in the general fund?
So
Is that
this is
17 million?
the fund one is the general fund. That was what all the slides that we went through before this. This is a smaller slide just on our smaller funds.
Oh, I see.
One slide for 4 different
All
funds.
right, sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. And just kind of final thoughts here. You know this, I've said this, declining enrollment ADA is a challenge for us that we need to work through, manage for. Revenue at YCUSD at this district, our district, is not increasing at the cost of living rate. We get this, again, this per student cost that goes up a certain amount, but since we're declining enrollment, we're either declining in revenue like it's happening in 24-25 or not going up as much generally over this time frame, not going up as high as much as the cost of living rate. Our expenses really do, that's our challenge, is to manage or match our expenses with our revenues. And as we develop the 25-26 budget, that will be something that we need to look at. We do not have cost impacts with our collective bargaining units in these numbers. So those we're still working with our collective bargaining agreement units to see where that lands. And then we are seeing a lot of additional categorical programs. That's in that restricted column. Prop 28 is just one of the more recent areas that we're as new funding and we're planning for going forward. And we've talked about this over the last few years here. Our facilities here do need a lot of attention. And so we do have a lot of major maintenance going on that we've been doing since I've been here. And I'll tell you, I'm actually really proud of all the work that Director Mark Button has been doing with our facilities. But a lot of our facilities are dated and need a lot of attention. And we have a lot of portables. But the bottom line is we can meet our current projected obligations. And so we are looking for, we are designating as a positive certification. That's the place you want to be in. A qualified or negative certification for a budget is no bueno, not where you want to be. But we are recommending a positive certification for a budget.
Any other questions?
I think I went over my timeline.
My fault.
I just have one question. Is there ever any movement through CSBA or any other entity to move us away from average daily attendance to enrollment?
There's talk about that, but that does not mean we get more.
I know it doesn't, but considering the issues we have with attendance, and chronic unattendance.
I don't love that methodology because typically it's good communities that have attendance problems really probably need the extra money to deal with those types of things. So I don't love the system either, but and from all the organizations that I'm involved with, we do advocate for getting away from that. It's unnecessary reporting. It doesn't seem, I struggle to see the benefit.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for this report. I know it's a lot of work.
Yes.
No problem. Good team. Good team that puts it all together.
Any other questions?
There's nothing else.
Can I get a motion?
I make a motion to approve the first interim financial report as put.
Second.
Okay, on a motion by member Ciola, second by member Pretty, Ms. Laura, can you do roll call, please?
Member Bosley?
Yes.
Member Ciola?
Yes.
Member Poor?
Yes.
Member Lamb?
Yes.
Member Pretty?
Yes.
Member Quilty?
Yes.
President Conley?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. C, first reading of proposed revision to board policies.
Thank you. And I bring this forward board policies for review for first read. As you may have heard, Title IX has gone through another revision recently. And so these are, policies are in alignment with the new regulations that just came out. They are anticipating there will be possibly another revision. So these continue to be revised annually now. So, but this is the current laws as they currently stand. So again, first reading. Do you have any questions regarding the new laws?
Yes. Oh, is it time? Okay. So my first question is with regards to policy 4030 non-discrimination in employment. At the bottom of the page of the actual text, I'm not in the policy index, I'm in the actual policy. On that red paragraph at the bottom, I just had a question. So, okay, so this is with regards to cannabis use outside of school and in your own personal time. So I just want to make sure I understand the law. So it's saying that we cannot discriminate against anyone who wishes to use cannabis outside of their hours of employment, right, for the workplace. But however, it says that or otherwise penalize a person, including termination based on a person's use of cannabis off the job and away from the workplace, or on a drug screening, which finds that the person has non-psychoactive cannabis metabolites in the applicant's hair, blood, urine, and other bodily fluid. So with regards to like a 24-hour test, is that saying, I'm sorry, let me finish. However, the district retains the right to maintain drug-free schools or prohibit employees from possessing, being impaired by, or using cannabis while on the job. Okay, so drug-free school while on the job. Okay, so I guess my only question with regards to this is, I think I understand it, but when it comes to, for example, those instances that happen whereby an employee has to take a drug test within 24 hours, does that fall within this?
So I think there's, and Scott as well. No, there's Scott. So there are some positions that, in terms of our best, I was just speaking to the non-discrimination clause regarding cannabis, that we can't discriminate if an individual uses it outside of work. However, we're a drug-free zone, so they can't use on campus. But the question is about the drug testing, and so with bus drivers, in particular, it can. So depending on drug in the system.
So I don't think I have a clear answer on that, and the reason I'm saying that is they're not great tests for that, and how to determine if somebody used it on or off the job.
Stays in your hair for 3 months.
Yes, 30 days.
So then
Can be in your body.
You're not
But you're
impaired.
not impaired.
And you're not impaired, but you are impaired when you're actively and for up to, I'm not scientifically knowledgeable about this and I have no personal experience with it. So how do you differentiate?
So not necessarily, I don't really know the answer to that either, to be honest with you, but I'll tell you that I do know that is a very challenging, the tests aren't accurate enough to determine if you're currently, using, or if you used a day or 2 days ago. So
3 weeks ago.
I don't have a great answer for how the testing works.
However, but this non-discrimination policy reflects that if we acknowledge that someone was using on their personal time, we can't prevent them from employment. However, while employed, I know it's legal, but you cannot use cannabis
Can't be under the influence.
and using while you're at work.
Well, that's the component I'm just curious about, is that under the influence is rather gray.
Yeah, I think it's great for the police department.
Yes, they can't come up with a test
There isn't a test yet that shows whether you're impaired
or not.
or if you used it a month ago.
Right. Okay. It's just, because there's an unclear test, that's why this is very unclear to me, because it is unclear by nature.
Yes.
So, well done, Sacramento. Okay. And then the other question I have is with regards to 4030, same thing, just that next page, item number 3. Unwelcome conduct, whether verbal, physical, or visual, that is offensive and so severe or pervasive as to adversely affect an employee's employment opportunities, or that has the purpose or effect of unreasonably interfering with the employee's work performance or creating an intimidating, hostile, or offensive work environment. Okay, so my question here is, I understand that that is offensive, has been added. And I guess my question is, because I understand unwelcome conduct, I understand verbal, physical, and visual. I guess my question is there additional language to detail what the definition of offensive is, or how that would be determined, or
that same question, that's very, very subjective.
right?
I'm
And
not
I think
offended
it
by
is a-
anything.
Right. And the language was added by CSB in terms of perceptions for an individual as perceptions of what's offensive. And I do get that it is subjective, because what might be offensive to Jasmine may not be offensive to me.
Right, so
are you asking me to check on that language to see if it can be modified?
yes, or stricken.
Yes, okay. Happy to do that.
Thank you.
I just have one question about the cannabis. I know that right now, like in schools, vaping is very rampant, especially with cannabis. And so do we have a policy, or is there like wraparound that talks about having a vape that contains cannabis, like for our employees?
So both tobacco and cannabis, for employees. I'm sorry, I was, my head was centered around students.
No.
So I missed the question now, so could you repeat that?
So do we have a policy, or is there going to be policy within like a non-discrimination or whatever? It just brought up the question of like vapes are out there, and there are some vapes that have cannabis as well in them. Do we have a policy that prohibits our staff members from having vapes with cannabis? Or is there not such thing, or is?
So there's a different policy, not under non-discrimination regarding,
Can't have it on campus.
Yeah.
correct.
Can't have tobacco or products, alcohol, anything on campus. They should know that.
Like not even on them?
No, it's not, can't be allowed on campus.
Okay. And you'll notice the signs that are posted, so we are.
So it can be in their car, in their vehicle. For employees, it can be in their vehicle. Yes or no, or maybe so. or
I would
it's pretty
say on the
That's
school
great.
grounds, it's not allowable.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool, thank you. Sorry, side tangent, my apologies. So that was a first read. Are there any other questions?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Oh, not about that policy.
Different policy, sure.
Yes. So going on to regulation 4119.12. Okay, so this might be a typo, but the title of it's page 9 if you're on Diligent. Page 9 of the attachment. This might be a typing error, but it says CSBA Sample District Policy Manual. So is this not ours?
So remember, these are being referred to us these are recommended by CSBA, and I don't know, Laura, if that's what you typically take off, or do you leave on the documents?
You're correct, this is from CSBA, we can remove that.
Right, but do you normally remove it when the
Yes.
policy, so it was a typo.
Okay, so that's on there twice. And then, so I didn't know if this was ours, okay. But same policy, 2 pages down. And it is under the title filing a complaint.
Yes.
Okay, and then it's page 11 if you're looking at paper.
Yeah.
Second paragraph, if the alleged victim chooses to not bring a complaint or withdraws any or all of the allegations in a complaint and in the absence or termination of an informal resolution process, the Title IX coordinator or designee shall consider whether to initiate a complaint. To do so, the Title IX coordinator or designee shall first consider the following factors, and I'll spare you. But my question with regards to that was, to me, this sounds like if I make a Title IX complaint and I follow the process and I say it was against me, right? And then I withdraw it, the Title IX coordinator can say, well, I don't want it withdrawn. I'm actually going to go forward, even though it's not my complaint.
Yes, the new law requires that even the law that was just recently passed before this one was that even though you as a person filing a complaint want to withdraw or say, and the Title IX coordinator believes it is a Title IX violation, we are obligated by law to continue the investigation.
Even though you have no standing?
Kind of like a mandated reporter, kind of. Same concept.
We have knowledge of an employee doing something wrong, right?
So we have to.
Well, but if it's not proved, if you haven't gone through.
Well, it's the same thing with mandated reporter, right? We're suspecting, but it's not our job to investigate. Somebody else's job to investigate.
Right, so that's why we have 15 days to determine whether or not it's a Title IX violation, and if the coordinator believes it is a violation of the Title IX regulations, and we're obligated by law to continue down the pathway of investigating.
Okay.
And remedying the situation.
Okay, thank you. I think that's all I have on.
If there's more, please reach out to me prior to the next meeting with any questions or concerns.
Yes. Yes, those were all my questions.
Well, we approve first reading.
There's no
We
action
don't have to do
required.
it,
Just a
never mind.
So thank you, I'll bring
I
it back in.
withdraw that.
I'll bring that in January.
Okay.
All
I do
right.
have to look up something for you all.
Yuba-Sutter proposals for the 25-26 school year.
Yeah.
There's one, beginning piano, and those other ones.
We have a few. Scott alluded to it. We have our new Prop 28 funding for visual and performing arts, and our two high schools have developed some new course outlines. These would be elective courses offered for 25-26 school year. So they would be going on the course proposals and the course selection sheets this January, actually next month for the students to select. So we have Dance 1, which will be offered beginning at Yuba-Sutter High School for next year. This is an introductory dance course. Beginning piano is a music course that would be offered at both school sites.
Very cool.
Then we have introduction to painting. Initially, that will be offered at Yuba-Sutter High School. Printmaking, and lastly, we have. This is actually kind of awesome because when we were at CSBA for that first keynote session, keynote session, we saw actually this example of rock band up on the stage. That's actually would be what it would be. It'd be a rock band ensemble where you'd have different musical instruments, different ensembles, and different singers putting on a performance. It's actually a pretty awesome course. That would be River Valley High School would be where they would be offering.
So
it's not ACDC.
It's not specifically ACDC, although I love ACDC. They are coming to concert by the way.
Let the record show.
But these would be offered for the next school year for both high schools.
I think it's really awesome. I mean, I graduated a little while ago, but just seeing like how extensive our elective courses are, or just courses in general, to be honest with you, how far education has come. I mean, I'd be really interested not to go back to high school, but to audit. But I would take a lot of these classes, though I had a fantastic time in ceramics, but it's awesome.
I love to give a shout out to Assistant Principal Anthony, who's out here really driving that course to the Rock Band River Valley High School. He's done a great job with that. So
cool. Thank you.
I have a few questions about 3 of these. Okay, so with regards to dance, this is, so you mentioned these are all elective, so dance won't take a PE credit? Man.
Yeah, it used to be like that, but now you have to have a single subject dance credential to teach dance. Okay. Whereas before 2022, you could have a single subject credential.
All right. And then I couldn't help but notice for 3 of these classes, there is no budget. So are we signing a blank check or is there
No,
$0?
So the budget, so there is we're using Prop 28 funds from each school site. We're allotted Prop 28 funds. That's one of our new apportionments from the state. But yeah, there'll be a budget, obviously for the supplies, like the materials and supplies would be what would be needed.
Well, you say obviously, and they did list some. I'm talking dance, piano, and rock band. So on page 8, the dance said, you know, this is the stuff we're gonna need, but they didn't apply a cost to it. So I'm just curious, because I love all these courses. But when we vote on it, who is approving that budget? Are we approving a blank check for them or like, so because I love the piano one as well. So is there a room full of pianos that we're buying or?
Yeah, so I could get back with you on that specific answer. I do have the actual equipment that they do need. Dance is relatively a low cost.
Except for the facilities.
Except for facilities, but even that's still pretty low cost, and that would be budgeted through Yuba-Sutter High School's Prop 28 funding.
I mean, I used to dance. I know dance clothes and costumes and dance shoes are not cheap.
Yeah, but we do have a budget for that. Yearly, we're portioned a budget now through Prop 28, which is part of the budget we get every year. So it's not a one-time fund. They have a yearly portion for that. The piano class would be the keyboards, the electric keyboards with headphones. That would probably be about 25 to 30 of those. I think we estimated about $1,000 per keyboard, so about $35,000. That would be through Prop 28 funding. The printmaking, the other courses, the art courses would be art supplies and but I can get those numbers for you. We can send you guys.
But you're asking us to approve it before we know what the budget is.
Well, so if I can chime in, I mean, this is for the course. I mean, I'll make sure he doesn't spend over his budget, but I mean.
Let the record show.
Yeah, so we have looked.
But it's not developed yet. That's not.
Yeah, but generally, and I think that is why it's on the course proposal, because the board, because generally these courses were not funded out of special funds, it was usually general funds, and so the board does want to know an estimated cost for the running of the course. And so an estimated cost of $30,000 for the electric pianos plus material, whatever those are. So I think that's a fair question because it is on there. So I think that I'm gonna ask you this question. So the time concern is that you need to be able to put this into the course catalog to be able to offer the courses as we start to register. Have the students ready.
Yeah, we're doing this in January.
Well, and I just have to say, printmaking and painting did it. So I looked through their budget and they had it detailed. I just was curious as to why dance, piano, and rock band did not make those numbers available. Although they had items on there, there weren't associated costs. And then it puts a strange position on us to approve. I love the content.
We can move to approve those 2 courses that have the budgets on them and then bring back the other 3 courses at the January 14th board meeting.
But then students wouldn't be able to sign up for it.
It would just be a later time item. Yeah.
Well, I don't want to do that to kids, but
I have spoken with both principals specifically and the teachers when we had our meeting, and with the keyboards would be 25 to 30 keyboards, about $30,000. That would be for the keyboarding, the beginning piano class. The dance, what we're doing with dance is we're getting marley flooring for the room we're making into a dance room. We're doing changing stations in the dance rooms because they're not by the PE locker room, so we have to do 2 changing stations. But like I said, the ongoing costs would be costumes every year for performances. So that would be an ongoing cost, but I can get you guys those numbers at our next meeting.
Is it safe to say that the Prop 28 funding that each school is allocated is adequate to fund all of these courses?
Or evenly distributed according to need?
It's not evenly distributed, it's distributed by an unduplicated pupil count. So based on what Scott showed us, by need. So since we have more kids at the high schools, they have a greater percentage of money they get versus like King Avenue has 300 something students, they get a lot less based on their student count.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Would the school be paying for costumes?
Yeah, because we require every student to have one, we have to pay for the costumes, yes.
Okay, so do cheerleaders, does the school supply cheerleaders outfits? Yes.
They do? Yes, so they can voluntarily purchase their own cheerleading uniforms. If they can't afford them, we have to provide them by law. So things have changed a lot, so
Wow.
there's this obligation for every child to be able to participate. And if they can't afford it, then we're required to. I was just thinking too, you could get parents to come in and make costumes
Schools do that.
for
And
the
so
kids. Yeah.
I mean, I'm okay with approving the courses as they are also. So I'll make a motion we approve as is.
I'll second.
On a motion by member Domi, second by member Pretty. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries.
But I still would like to see that budget.
yeah, I can send that to you.
Thank you. Reports, information and discussion, any board report?
Do you know how much I
No,
love budget?
commissions have met. All right, communications, written communications from the public?
No.
There were none. Comments from employee representatives?
Good evening, board members and folks in the audience and staff. I'm Dina Lukens, President of the Yuba City Teachers Association. I want to address a couple of items tonight. I had intended to be here when Heather Fee spoke to you before closed session, but I thought it was 6 o'clock. It's only 6 o'clock, so I missed it. But I appreciate, yes, Doreen let me know, she'd be great. So I appreciate that Heather took the time to be here to speak to you tonight about those readmits. I am proud of the work this district has done to explore new options to address the needs of our students. I believe this discovery program is the beginning of an opportunity to help our students change their behaviors before they sit before you in an expulsion hearing. That is, that we can help them in a pre-expulsion opportunity to learn those social emotional studenting skills that they learned in the discovery program this year. So I hope that over time we will continue to build that program because we need some of those intensive intervention for some of our students to be successful in our classroom. And the earlier we can do that with the students, the more likely we are to make a lifelong impact for those students. So I thank Heather Fee for being here tonight to address you on that matter. As we move into the holiday season, our schools are busy with so many things. You've probably heard about concerts and family events and other ornament making opportunities or art projects. So it is a lot of extra work at this time when folks are starting to get a little exhausted. Then there's also that rain. All that rain, kids trapped in classrooms. As a classroom teacher, you go, please rain, like no rain between 8 and 3. You can rain at night, we're good, but not between 8 and 3 because kids get a little antsy trapped in classrooms. I'd like to highlight your some interesting items from your budget. This first interim, I keep track of some weird things. For example, I keep track of the district's percent of budget expenditures each year. And I've got data going, little scans going back all the way to 1998. So back in the late 1900s. But I would like to address that go back 20 years. In 2004, 2005, 52% of expenditures of this district were on certificated salaries. 13% were on CSEA salaries, and 22% was on budget, with only 3% on books and supplies and 8% on services and other outlay. In 2014, 10 years later, certificated salaries were 49% of the budget. CSEA was up to 16% of the budget, but benefits were down to only 19% of the budget, but books were 3% and services were 11%. So notice the percent being spent on books, supplies is going up, and the percent spent on your certificated salaries was going down. To the most startling number I've seen, in 2024, 2025, 35% of expenditures are on certificated salaries. 14% on CSEA salaries and 22% on budget. So in that 20-year span, the decrease in the expenditures on certificated salaries, those persons who have credentials from the California Commission on Teacher Credentialing and who are in direct service to your students, decreased from 52% to 35%. Books and supplies went from 3% up to 10%, and services went up from 8% to 15%. A budget is a reflection of priorities, and I continue to hope that this district will make those personnel delivering services to students your highest priority. And finally, on a much higher note, I'd like to congratulate 2 members of the YCTA bargaining unit. We got word this last weekend of national board scores. So I'd like to tell you about Selena Andrade. Selena Andrade teaches an SVC class for 3rd, 4th, and 5th graders at King Avenue. SVC is special day class. She is a special education teacher. Selena earned her national board certification. Melanie Wood teaches at, she taught at Park Avenue for many years. She worked on her national board certification while at Park Avenue, but she is now at AK. Melanie Wood earned her national board certification. So the district has now doubled the number of national board certified teachers at Yuba City Unified. I've previously told you about Katie Woolman, and I may never have mentioned I'm also nationally board certified. So I hope that we will continue to grow the number of nationally board certified teachers in Yuba City Unified. And I appreciate your time this evening. So I wish you all a happy holiday season. Thank you.
Good evening. I'm Mercedes Geraldo and I represent our classified employees here at Yuba City Unified. I'd like to start by congratulating our new board members, our returning board members, and the ones that didn't have to run yet. I want to take a moment to recognize a few people that are retiring at the end of this fiscal year. So just, their last day, some of them might be Friday. Others might be a little more into, probably Friday. But Tina Aguilera, she is an admin secretary at River Valley High School. I know that when I started in the district 24 years ago, she was the data clerk, I think her position was, or data processing specialist at Yuba City High School. Christina Monroy, she has been in the district, I don't have my numbers with me, about 15 years. She is a special ed paraeducator at Yuba City High School. She'll be retiring. Leticia Hernandez will also be retiring. She's a longtime custodian at Yuba City High School. And Kathy Saldivar, who is, her official job title is instructional aid computers, which is now current. As of Friday, we will no longer have that job description anymore because it has been antiquated and gone for a long time. She's been assuming the role as the library clerk at Lincoln School, and as well kind of doing some of those computer jobs, kind of helping our IT department out a little bit, doing that triage, if you will, for teachers. So, is your computer plugged in? Is it turned on? Some basic stuff that she could do to kind of relieve some pressures and not have all these millions of tickets. So I know IT's always appreciated her in that capacity. We're working with the district on a Juneteenth settlement that just went through. CSEA entered into a class action lawsuit with districts for Juneteenth for the first and second and third years. The district does the third year, which is 2023. We already had it in our contract, so we were paid for that. But so we're working with the district to make sure that those folks get paid what is due to them as a national holiday. Prop 28, we talked about that tonight, and we've been working with Tino and Rob to create a job description so that we can get some, and Scott, sorry, to get some VAPA, kind of sounds like fake, so visual and performing arts assistants into our elementary schools and middle schools to help out with some of that Prop 8 money and not relieving the teacher of her work, or his or her work, but assisting them to bring some art projects and quality art to the classroom. It's kind of exciting in the job description. And on that line, we are working, moving forward with our job description. Task force, our job descriptions are 20 plus years old. They're not valid anymore. So it's not an easy process, but we are committed to meeting at least once a month as a team to work on these job descriptions. We've separated them out by job families, so we'll be taking one group of families at a time. As we get close to being done with one, we'll probably start on another one, so they're just continually rolling through. So this board can expect for the next few years to see some new job descriptions coming through that will actually make sense to the 2024 and beyond. Let's see. Oh, we talked about your average daily attendance. Yes, CSEA is working diligently on legislation for average annual enrollment. We don't back down on something that's important, and as an example, the March 15th parity layoffs with the certificated, that only took us 50 years, but we didn't give up the fight, and now that we got it. So hopefully it won't take us that long to get through this, but we are still working. So we're in your court to help bring some more money, especially to districts like ours that do have some attendance issues, and that really hurts our AD and hurts our budget and the bottom line. We are continuing with negotiations. We have meetings set up for that. To answer your question, Kristen, if this was part of your question, our bus drivers have a zero tolerance for cannabis use, that they cannot use it outside of work, they can't use it inside of work, they cannot use it at all. So that's always good to know that they fall under the DOT, so they are a zero tolerance. And they also have a much lower blood alcohol level. So when you think of a bus driver, not only they're driving our kids and keeping them safe, but out there in the community on their regular days, they have a much higher standard on those drivings because they can lose their license and lose their livelihood. So that's very, very important to them. Thursday night is our last chapter meeting of our year, and that will be, we will have an election for one office. All other offices were uncontested, but so next time I see you, we'll be presenting our new e-board to you. Sorry, you don't list me. I'm duly elected. I tried, I really tried, but no. And on that, I wish you all a very happy holiday season. Stay safe, stay warm, and enjoy.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Great. Comments from board members?
I just want to say that I know I missed you. You came to do the VIP lunch, and I think I got there right after you left. But
oh no, I wasn't able to come. I was swamped.
Okay. Well, I will tell you guys. If we get invited to do it again next year, it is a blast. Watching the families and the kids come through. I was on mashed potato duty, and it was just, and it's a well-oiled machine. I mean, it comes through, and the kids come through, the parents come through. I don't know. We had like 3 shifts of people coming through, and the classified staff, the cooks in the kitchen, making sure all of us who were the smiley faces plopping stuff on the trays, that we kept our supply going. It was amazing. It was just so much fun, and I want to make sure I get to do it again next year.
Oh, I see you. Right. Good do it.
It was
But
fun.
I'm so grateful all of the time. So keep the invitations coming. Please keep them coming.
It's a lot of fun.
Okay. I have one request. I know that there have been some substitutes that have reached out to different board members with regards to when they receive their paycheck. And so I wanted to request, I mean, if the board is in agreement, maybe some more information on how, like what the process is for the district. I think it's probably changed since I was a sub, like 12 years ago. But if there's a way that you guys can get us information and maybe a plan, if there isn't already one, to be able to pay the employees in a faster manner. But I don't know all the information. I don't know what
They
the
still
timeline
get it on
are.
the, they still get it on the 10th of the month, right?
But I think that after a certain deadline,
After
then
the
it jumps
18th?
another month.
They don't, like if I worked, what's today, the 17th, right? If I worked tomorrow, I in the district as a sub or on a blue sheet, or I don't know if they're still blue, but a timesheet, I wouldn't see that money until February.
I've worked on timesheets for subs, and it is inundating. And you do have to calc them all out and get them in, and they're double checked and triple checked.
But if it's all on frontline, it seems like it could be
so
much better expedited.
So what I'm requesting is that if the cabinet can look into that and inform us of what the process is, and if there's a way to streamline that process and make it more expeditious for the employee, if you can come back with us.
We can provide the information.
Cool. Thank you. The only other thing is I hope everybody has a safe New Year and a very, very Merry Christmas, and enjoy your guys' time off. But we're not done yet. We have another board meeting today.
Yay!
Oh, just kidding. There's superintendent reports too.
Just real quick. If you remember, Yuba City High School has its annual Melvin tournament, basketball tournament. So that will start on Thursday, and go Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. The other thing is, I just want to compliment our staff and students. They have been fundraising, collecting cans, collecting gifts for families in need. So that has been occurring for the end for those living in retirement homes. And so they've been, there's been a lot of gift bags, you know, being delivered to the schools and to different agencies. So I want to thank the staff, the families, and the students who've been doing that. The other thing is, I just want to give a shout out and a plug to our FFA group. Kirsten, you were asking me about Thanksgiving, and so our turkey was a turkey that we had purchased during the auction, and reviews and positives from my family who don't necessarily eat turkey, best turkey ever. So if you have an opportunity, and you don't realize how big of a turkey you buy when you buy them at the auction. So I had a 27-pound turkey.
Whoa!
Oh my God! Right, that's a big turkey.
That's a lot of leftovers.
That's a lot of leftovers, but that's it's fun, and we've bought chickens, and the chickens are wonderful. So if you have an opportunity during the summer to go to the FFA auction, please do, because our kids
makes me hungry.
And then last but not least, congratulations to Miss Londa Lamb, because she is going to be retiring after how many years?
Over 20.
In education, right?
In education.
With us and with the county office, so congratulations and happy retirement.
Tina Aguilar is 40 years. She retired. She worked 40 years, and she's retiring Friday as well.
She is. So that's it.
So what time is the tournament? Can you get that to us?
Yes, the flow chart is on my desk, so I can get that to you.
Thank you. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and recess to the finance and court meeting. All right, it's the last one.
It's the last one. and it
I
should be-
cannot tell you how quick it's gonna be though.
It should be pretty quick.
Okay, so I'm calling to order. Let's do roll call because it says roll call, but we're all here.
I'm happy to do it if you'd like.
Perfect.
Okay.
Thank you, Ms. Laura.
Member Bosley? Here. Member Ciola?
Still here.
Member Carr? Here. Member Lamb?
Here.
Member Pretty?
But with bells on.
Member Loyalty?
Oh.
And President Donnie?
Here.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. So 2.1, financing for purpose.
So a couple of informational items, 2.1 and 2.2. So just the purpose, there's a little write-up on this. Essentially, this is an annual meeting we do it once a year. It's really just to facilitate how we have financed certificate of participation in the past, and how we will most likely finance the same thing, which is essentially debt of the district, the solar project going forward. So that is the purpose, and information regarding that. 2.2 is the financial stuff. So again, this is a pass-through entity. Essentially, there's really no assets, no financial. We received $2 million, pay out $2 million in principal and interest payments. So it's just a pass-through organization, nonprofit organization for the district. And those are the two informational items. So I guess we're up to
action item.
Action.
3.1, approval of minutes for last year's meeting, December 12th, 2023.
I move that we approve.
Second.
You want a long explanation about the minutes? I'm just kidding.
It was so memorable. I remember it by heart.
On a motion by member Pretty, a second by member Ciola. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. 3.2, reorganization of the Yuba City Unified Finance and Board.
That board mimics this board, and it's just stating that you guys are also the board members for the financing corporation as well.
Cool.
I move we approve.
Second.
On a motion by member Pretty, second by member Ciola. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. we're gonna reconvene to the last board meeting we're having, so I'm gonna adjourn this one. And then I'm gonna recall the other one. And then I'm gonna end up closing this one. Oh, did I do motions to adjourn? No. Okay, we're just gonna skip that. Next board meeting is.
We all agree.
Is
January.
sorry. Just
January 14th.
January 14th, all of them say December. And open session is at 7 p.m. here. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Okay. On a motion by member Scioscia, second by member Core. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. Thank you, guys. Don't leave yet. Everybody has to sign.
Yuba-Sutter.live's local government live streams are presented by Plumas Lake Self-Storage in Plumas Lake, where lifelong local residents are helping other residents keep things safe, providing indoor storage units, outdoor RV and vehicle parking, moving supplies, and Penske truck rentals. Details at plumaslakeselfstorage.com.
Hi, I'm Neil Goforth of Comfort Keepers of Yuba, Sutter, and Nevada counties. Caring for elders, or even yourself, has challenges. Comfort Keepers of Yuba, Sutter, and Nevada counties can help you address today's issues and plan for tomorrow with in-home and specialized care for you or your family members. Call us at 530-749-8800. Comfort Keepers of Yuba, Sutter, and Nevada counties.
In Marysville, where roots run deep, McNally Appliances promises to keep the best brands with a smile on its face. We service what we sell, it's a warm embrace. Competitive pricing you can't ignore. With every purchase, you'll love it more. From fridges to washers, all in a line. We install with care to make it shine. Major brands, trusted and true. McNally Appliances is here for you. Oh, McNally, we're your first choice. In Marysville, we help you rejoice. We service what we sell, no need to stress. At McNally Appliances, we're simply the best. Our promise stands, we'll always be here. McNally Appliances, bringing your cheer.
McNally Appliances, 119 D Street, Marysville. McNallyAppliances.com. In Yuba County, there's a legendary diner.
Oh, that looks delicious. Oh my gosh, thank you so much.
Where the parking lot tells a story. A story as simple as biscuits and gravy.
The food is good. The prices are wonderful. My dad has so many friends here that come here, and it's my dad and mom have known Mary Jane and her dad before Duke.
Duke's Diner on 7th Avenue, home of legendary chili, holiday pies, and generations of local residents preparing tasty, hearty food for generations of local people. Join Mary Jane and her genial associates as they serve meals you'll come back for. Duke's Diner on 7th Avenue, Olivehurst. You've seen signs marking some of the gyms in Marysville. They're produced by Sapphire Sign Company, providing something small, large, and mobile. With decades of experience, Sapphire Signs has pioneered local production of a variety of signs, like temporary campaign-style signs, welcomes for unique events, building signage, event promotion, and vehicle customization. Need a sign? Make it a gem from Sapphire Sign Company. On the web at sapphiremarketinggroup.net. Sapphire. There's more Christmas to come on Yuba-Sutter.live. We're going all over Yuba-Sutter, catching a number of Christmas celebrations in the act of happening. Friday at 5 p.m. we'll have the Yuba City Christmas tree lighting, and then zip out to Sutter for the 6:30 Sutter Parade of Lights. If you missed any of them, you can binge watch them for the first time, or watch them again right here this Sunday night. 5 p.m., the Marysville Christmas tree lighting and 73rd Marysville Christmas Parade replay. We'll list the winners. Then at 7 p.m., the 55th Olivehurst Christmas Parade replay, also with winners noted. At 8 o'clock, the Yuba City Downtown Christmas Tree Lighting and Sutter Parade of Lights replay. Christmas events in Yuba-Sutter this Sunday evening at 5, 7, and 8. Merry Christmas, Yuba-Sutter.live.
In the heart of the valley, we rise so bright, where the news flows freely in the morning light. Yuba-Sutter.live, where truth comes alive. Every Tuesday's a journey, it's where we thrive. Watch it unfold. Yuba-Sutter.live, in the heart of our home. Be informed, be wise. Yuba-Sutter.live, we capture it all. Policy debates, hear the people's call. With Yuba-Sutter.live, you'll never miss a beat. Special reports hit hard, shining a spotlight. Yuba-Sutter.live. Yuba-Sutter.live.
You're watching Yuba-Sutter.live, Yuba-Sutter's live streaming channel on Facebook and YouTube. Thanks for watching, and Merry Christmas. There's more Christmas to come on Yuba-Sutter.live. We're going all over Yuba-Sutter, catching a number of Christmas celebrations in the act of happening. Friday at 5 p.m. we'll have the Yuba City Christmas tree lighting, and then zip out to Sutter for the 6:30 Sutter Parade of Lights. If you missed any of them, you can binge watch them for the first time, or watch them again right here this Sunday night. 5 p.m., the Marysville Christmas tree lighting and 73rd Marysville Christmas Parade replay. We'll list the winners. Then at 7 p.m., the 55th Olivehurst Christmas Parade replay, also with winners noted. At 8 o'clock, the Yuba City Downtown Christmas Tree Lighting and Sutter Parade of Lights replay. Christmas events in Yuba-Sutter this Sunday evening at 5, 7, and 8.
Merry Christmas, Yuba-Sutter.live.